Hi everybody, my name is Kim and welcome back to my channel, Bookmarks and Breadsticks. Before we get started, please consider hitting that like and subscribe buttons below. I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments, especially when I'm here to talk to you today about Julie and Julia. Now you might know Julie and Julia as the 2009 hit movie featuring Amy Adams and Meryl Streep, but I'm here to compare and contrast that to the original book, Julie and Julia, by the author Julie Powell. So I read this with Catherine Z. I will link to her channel down below. And we both really wanted to, we both loved the movie Julie and Julia. And then I had found this book at Open Books for, oh gosh, I think $4. And I really wanted to see how much from the book is actually pulled into the movie. This is gonna have to be a two-part series because what I haven't read is the memoir in which the sections about Julia Child are based on. So today I'm really just talking about Julie Powell, which is Amy Adams' character in the movie. So first off, in this book, Julie has, I should give you a general synopsis, sorry. If you don't know Julie and Julia the movie, I'll read you the back description. Goodness, I can read. Nearing 30 and trapped in a dead-end secretarial job, Julie Powell resolved to reclaim her life by cooking. In the span of a single year, every one of the 524 recipes in Julia Child's legendary Mastering the Art of French Cooking. Her unexpected reward, not just a newfound respect for calves liver and aspic, but a new life lived with gusto. So, I'm gonna try and keep it high level back and forth. But the first thing I can say is that in the movie, Julie is a failed writer who now works a secretarial job that helps with people who are struggling post 9/11. The job is the same, book to movie. But in the book, which is really Julie's life, Julie actually was a struggling actress who moved to New York and couldn't make it big and got this temp job at the company. Her transition from the temporary role at the company to a permanent role, all of her career, that's what touched on way more in depth in the book than it is in the movie. In the movie, you kind of just glaze over it. Oh, Julie, you're nearly 30, you have a dead-end job. And she has this scene with some very vapid girlfriends where they all get Cobb salad. And that's the gloss over. All these women get Cobb salads. One of them is the CEO, one of them is the senior vice president, and Julie is working at this office job. The book goes into far more detail about these struggles. And her sassy gay work friend in the book is nowhere to be seen in the movie, and it drove me crazy. Dan watched it with me. We rewatched it Thanksgiving night, and all he did was hear me complain. There's so much richness in the book that just doesn't make it to the movie, partially because it's a combination of Julie and Julia's lives together versus the book itself is only about Julie Powell, and this book itself is 300 pages. My camera is now overheating again. I will be back. Okay, let's see if my camera can hang on just to get through this last part of this video. So I was in the middle of describing the differences between Julie and Julia the movie versus Julie and the Julia memoir by Julie Powell. So I already touched on it a little bit that her career is really modified to fit the short constraints of a 2-hour movie. It's a 2-hour movie, but think about it, it's a 2-hour movie that shares two different stories, one of Julia Child and one of Julie Powell. So I can get why they shrunk a lot of her growth in her career. And it's just a very convenient ending, you know, a very Disney, and it's not a Disney movie, but a very happily ever after wedding, happily ever after ending to the movie. Another part of Julie Powell's memoir that I think they really glossed over is the tension that the Julie and Julia project brings to her marriage. Chris Messina plays the husband in the movie, which I personally love that actor. But he's very one-dimensional in the movie. You don't know what he does for a career. He's always kind of working in the background, but you don't really know what he does. He isn't as actively involved in helping Julie cook in the movies. And in the book, he takes a much more active role. There is a lot of other undercurrents to their marriage. They are like not high school sweethearts, but they get married in college and they get married very young, and it's very different from the rest of her friends. And that dynamic of being married when your other friends who are in their late 20s and early 30s are not, it's a dichotomy and a split that Julie struggles with to be relatable to her friends. The movie only glosses over this by asking like, am I a bitch? She's like, yeah, of course you're a bitch. And like that kind of weird catty girl versus girl dialogue. Meanwhile, glossing over the dynamics of the relationship. In the book, there's tension, they fight. There's prioritization of Julie's project over basic fundamentals of their marriage, like having a healthy sexual relationship. There's just so much more of it's just missed, and it bummed me out because I have seen the movie. I had fond memories of the movie, then read the book, then watched the movie, and realized the part about Julie Powell, I just didn't like. Now, the part about Julia Child, played by Meryl Streep, and her husband is played by Stanley Tucci, like, I loved every minute of that. But when it came to Julie, she actually reads really flat in the movie. And she's not very likable. In the book, she curses a lot, and she's not a princess. She's not a queen. Like, she isn't bubblicious, and you don't love her from the start, but I loved that Julie was fundamentally flawed because she was a real person. She is a real person in the book. In the movie, she's rather one-dimensional, and she's like, woe is me, I'm 30, I don't know what I'm doing with my life. Let me tell the audience I don't know what I'm doing with my life, and then I'm gonna come up with the idea of writing this blog. Her husband suggests a blog. Julie didn't even know what the hell blogs were. All the credit goes to her husband. And the importance of Julia Child to Julie Powell, her relationship with her family, way more touched on in the book. You never even meet her mom in the movie. Now, there were some things that the movie did keep. One was that she and her husband always drink with gimlets. I thought it was one of those cute little touches in the movie, and you can see it in multiple scenes in a non-alcoholic kind of way. It's just a specific prop that they kept in. The scene with her learning to cook an egg, the scenes with her learning to overcome her fear of a lobster. All were really nice touches, but I think to better appreciate the movie, read the book, or actually you might be more disappointed in the movie like I am now that I've read the book. With that in mind, I am going to go read the memoir, it's not a memoir, excuse me, the biography based on Julia Child that they used for the movie. It involves a lot of letters back and forth between Julia Child and her friend Avis back in the States. And there's also letters from her husband in the book as well. So it's biographical, it's not a memoir. I'm going to read that and come back to this movie again and give you a point of view and talk about how much has been added, what I liked, what I didn't like. Would I still recommend watching Julie and Julia? Yeah, do it for Meryl Streep and Stanley Tucci because they're just freaking awesome. Do I recommend the book? Yeah, I actually really do. I actually have her other book, Cleaving, on the shelves, which is why I bought Julie and Julia to begin with. Because when an author has multiple memoirs, they're usually in chronological order based on moments in their lives. And the second book is almost always referential to the first book. So I thought it was important to get this grounding. The book is laugh out loud funny. It's super relatable. I grew up in New York, on Long Island, post 9/11. So that there's certain nuances to the book that I specifically relate to in a different way I think other people might. But give it a shot. I will be back with part 2 of this series, hopefully by the end of December is going to be my goal. But I do have a lot of other books to read, so maybe not. I will try and get back to this. Make sure you keep an eye out for Catherine Z's video as well. She's going to give her opinions on Julie and Julia. We attempted to buddy read this. I am an awful buddy reader, but we did DM back and forth on Instagram talking about what we liked about the movie and the book and what we didn't. Also, another thing about the movie is that major events in the movie, like the highlight pinnacle moments, are completely out of order compared to the book. And I don't want to say anything because it will spoil a big turning point in the 2/3 of the movie, but that really pissed me off. I think there was so much richness and source material in this book that they could have taken different plot points from here and used it for Amy Adams' character and growth in the movie. So let me know. So have you seen Julie and Julia? Am I ruining your fond memories of this movie? Have you read the book? Let me know in the comments below, and I look forward to seeing you in part 2 of this movies/book series. Should I do this more? Do you want to see cooking movies that are based on true stories or memoirs? I'm interested. Are you interested? Let me know, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.